at the Bed and Breakfast, Lizzy's Heritage Inn, and I have some information for you about real life retreats in February. I am so excited about this one. We have so many good things planned. So it's going to be February 16th through the 19th right here at the Bed and Breakfast. So it's going to be about love, of course, because it's February. So rest, rejuvenation, pampering yourself, connection with new friends and old friends. So plan on going over to lizzysheritageinn.com, click on retreats, and book your spot.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's Tuesday, January 17th, 2023, and we have some updates because Meri Brown has returned to social media after Paedon and Gwendolyn seemingly confirmed things that happened years ago while they were children, and the news was sort of reverberating all over the interwebs last week and into this week. There was some questions about what's the response going to be? Is Meri going to notice? Is she going to say anything? Is she going to acknowledge anything? Is Meri going to say, I'm sorry? Well, Meri Brown did return to social media, and her response is probably not exactly what you're expecting, or maybe if you watch Sister Wives, it's exactly what you were expecting, because Meri Brown's return is actually very Meri Brown. I know I'm speaking in code, but she did return yesterday and she uploaded a video. Guess what, you guys? She's hosting a new retreat. But before she posted about the brand new retreat, she had some stuff to say about her birthday and people who stick up for her. Yep, that's right. She's being passive aggressive. So let's dive into Meri returns to social media. And before we do, can you do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed, and turn the notifications on so you know when I go live or when new content loads. Make sure to leave a comment if you have something to say, and share this video with your friends. So there has been a lot of information that's been coming out, and people are teasing through like all the old episodes, trying to piece together some of the details that people that watch the show are finally going, okay, this makes sense, this makes sense, this is what Christine said, this is what Janelle said, this is what the kids have said, this is what they've said about each other, right? To try to piece together what could have happened and what went wrong. We talked yesterday about what Christine said in the book. We did a video last week where we talked about what Janelle said in the book. There's a lot of evidence that something happened, and the good news is that Meri is now not a part of the family because she left Cody, and thankfully will not hopefully be able to have access to any more children if this is true. But in her return to social media, rather than acknowledging anything, she had something to say, and it seemed very pointed given what was stated about her last week. So on Instagram, she said this: I spent my birthday, number 52, with a couple of my favorite people in the world. Many laughs, lots of good conversations, and tons of good food. On days like these, I'm reminded again of the humanity of people with good and honest hearts, the friends who have your back and stand up for you, and general goodness in the world. So grateful for friends who I can be myself with, who know my heart and my true self and cheer me on for my bright future. I have so many things to be grateful for, so many good things in the works for the coming year, so much promise, hope, and light, and today I'm so grateful for today. Here's to another year in the books and another year ahead, full of wonder, wisdom, and worth. Okay, it's very obvious that she's addressing it without addressing it, just in the words that she chose to use. And obviously it was her birthday, so she wanted to celebrate her birthday, but she absolutely did not need to put in the stuff about the friends, other than to address it without saying anything. So listen, when you're on a reality television show, a lot of the times you have people in the background that are helping you with your social media posts. A lot of times networks have PR crisis teams that help navigate what to post and how to say things. The Duggars used ones when things would come out about Josh, and they would have a strategy for how they were going to handle things in a way where they could address it without saying anything or be like obvious without being with being subtle without being obvious. And this post to me is all very strategic in how I would say a PR manager would suggest, or if she's got friends that do PR, this would be a strategy that they would probably recommend that she take, of addressing it without addressing it. And the path that she is going to take is that everyone else got it wrong and my true friends know the truth. It's kind of like a cult. Like, have you ever noticed on her Instagram, it always says like, you'll know the true story later, or my story will be told. It's like she's constantly dangling in front of you that there's something more that you don't know about her that's been withheld. And yet the truth is that stuff is out there. People have said things, many people have said things, and she just wants you to say that like, I know the truth and they know myself and I'm not that person. The reason why I would say that this is the response is because she says, on days like these, I'm reminded again of the humanity of people with good and honest hearts. So the implication to me is that there are people that are in her life that don't have good and honest hearts. There were people in her life that she claims are lying, because good and honest hearts don't lie and they don't spell mistruths. So it's in the assumption that they're lying or misrepresenting what happened, or they don't have a good heart for speaking the truth. Meri can find a way to actually be the victim in every situation. The friends who have your back and stand up for you. So this would be, to me, a direct at all of the friends that do speak nicely of her, and maybe particularly at those in the family that didn't stand up for her. Why I think this is, again, a strategy by the PR team is because she's addressing the issue without addressing the issue. If you spend any time in the world of social media, or if you have a public platform of your own, you know very well what a PR strategy looks like, and this is it. She also says the general goodness of the world. So what's happening over there is the evil, and what's happening over here is the good. So Meri is doing this sort of dichotomy that happens a lot. Like, have you noticed when an influencer screws up and they say like, I'm going through a dark time, and they start crying, and a lot of times they're like in all bright white and they have like this angelic thing around them. Like, it's a strategy that PR firms use. Now, she has them sitting by a white background. They're not wearing white. So it's not the clothing that they're using, but it's the language that they're using that's deriving innocence in what she's claiming. So she's indirectly denying it without denying it. And she said, so grateful for friends who I can be myself with and who know my heart and my true self and cheer for me for my bright future. The past in her mind is that nobody really knew her. She wasn't able to be her true self, and now she's surrounded by people that do know her, that are cheering her on for the goodness that she offers to this world, and that she can finally be herself. Okay, so first of all, the claims that are coming out against Meri are old, and so obviously you want to talk about, like, if they're old, can anything be done legally? Probably not, no. So then it's up to the audience to decide, well, if you decide that you are okay with this, then that's on you. And if other people are like, I don't like this, that's on them, right? The kids do have a right to speak what they went through as children, and sometimes that will contradict a parent's experience. It won't excuse what Meri's choices were, but it'll be in opposition to how Meri remembers things. But Meri does this a lot when things happen. Like, remember with the catfish situation, and I'm only bringing this up because the catfish is very busy right now on TikTok, fooling people into believing they are someone that they're not, claiming that they're someone from the Brown family spilling beans when that's really the catfish, in my opinion. You ever notice that when the catfish situation, she took no responsibility? She called it platonic when it wasn't platonic, when it was clearly not platonic. In the messages and the voicemails and the text messages that she sent, it was not platonic. She downplayed, she really made herself the victim. And in many ways, she was a victim of an online scammer. But she also had a level of responsibility herself in engaging in a relationship online with someone that was not her spouse. And even though we don't agree with polygamy, that's what happened. She took no accountability for it. When it comes to like fights that she's had with other sister wives, she also lacks the foresight of taking responsibility for that as well. She consistently will take the role of I'm being the victim and everyone else is coming against me. In a lot of ways, I find her to be pretty narcissistic. She reminds me a lot of Cody. And another thing that I want to say is that once someone does come out of polygamy, and I don't know where she stands at a faith-based position. I don't know if Meri still has a testimony that she needs to be a plural wife. I don't know if she still even believes in like Mormonism and the LDS side of things, not the fundamentalist side. You know, I don't know what she believes. If she doesn't believe anymore, this could be her coming out and being like, hey, I'm not this bad person anymore. And when I was in the cult, yep, I did bad things. The problem is that to me, it's acknowledging nothing. And other than saying, my friends are the ones that are honest. My friends know who I am. My friends support me. And the real people that don't support that are not my friends. Sure, that's true. But it also doesn't discount the fact that kids have stories that are not compatible with Meri's version of events. It can be a hard reality to admit that you are responsible for other people's pain. It can be a difficult situation where you have to acknowledge that you've hurt other people. It can be challenging. And maybe the family has worked through some of these things behind the scenes. That I don't know. But the fact that even today, some of them are calling her scary and have no relationship with you should be pretty telling. In fact, most of the adult children are not around Meri. And if you noticed, someone actually made a really good point in my comments because Gwendolyn had announced that she had witnessed something that had happened between Mykelti and Meri. Well, listen, remember when Christine went away and they did the going away party, and it was Mykelti who was doing the whole like going away party, and she wanted everyone to come over, and Meri was suspiciously absent. Meri was also suspiciously absent from births twice for Madison. She also was suspiciously absent when things like would come up with Madison. So I think that there is truth to the fact that she has strained relationships with some of the kids, and I think there's truth to the accusations that the children are making. And I think at the end of the day, it's a long time ago, but again, polygamy puts people in a really uncomfortable situation. It's a system of unbridled authority by a man and everyone else trying to like get into position and try to get a piece of attention, and women fighting and being super jealous and taking it out on kids. And I think sometimes if the Browns would actually acknowledge that, yes, this is how I acted. Yes, this is what I did. Yes, I made mistakes. It would be wonderful. But Meri is also selling LuLaRoe, and she's selling a brand and an image on her Instagram. And the last thing that you want to do when you're selling a brand is try to pretend like you're not perfect. And the LuLaRoe ladies always have to act like everything is great in their lives, regardless. Like everything's purpose. Their whole life is abundance. They have great clothes and great shopping and boss babe and live your best life. Okay? Yeah, so she's not going to acknowledge it because it's not good for her business, sadly. Maybe privately they'll acknowledge it, but for fans, I don't know if you're going to expect anything. I did notice that a lot of people were giving her negative comments. After she made that post, then she made a post that she was doing another retreat, this time in February, and this time 3-tier levels, ranging in price from $4,000 to $6,000. And a lot of people were not thrilled. And she said that she's going to be doing a retreat that's all about love and empowerment and connection.
It's going to be about love, of course, because it's February. So rest, rejuvenation, pampering yourself, connection with new friends and old friends. So plan on going over to lizzysheritageinn.com, click on retreats, and book your spot. Okay, you get 3 choices. You can either choose from Supreme, Elite, or Elite Plus. Make sure you read through all the details so you know what is included in each one and choose the best one for you. And then you just need to get here to the B&B on the 16th of February. I will take care of the rest. Okay, super easy. I'm going to drop the link in the comments here. Make sure you jump over to lizzysheritageinn.com, and we will see you in February.
The last person I would go to a retreat for to learn about love, empowerment, and connection is Meri Brown. But there are people out there that will be fooled and conned into doing this, but a lot of people in the comments were not impressed with, one, the fact that it was super expensive for such a short period of time. The amount of money that she's charging people is ridiculous for the short number of days that it is and what she's offering. It's only 2 full days and then 2 half days, 4 nights. Yeah, and then you have to get into Parowan from either Las Vegas or from, I believe, Salt Lake, and it's like a 3-hour drive. So not fun for anyone for the travel purposes. A lot of people were asking her questions about whether or not it was true, if what Paedon said, they won't go because they don't want to support her. But her show must go on. And if her life has moved on and this was years ago, she might feel like she doesn't have to address it. I don't know. Every single day there's something more that comes out about the family that you're like, why does this show still have a platform? And it's like, I don't think the TLC cares because honestly, it makes them money. And I don't know if they would ever actually cancel the show unless there's like literally someone comes out with very detailed accounts of what happened to them. And I don't know if that's going to happen until after the show is off the air. But Meri is going to ignore it. I'm going to finally bring this back to the one final moment, one final piece at the very end of this video. I just want to acknowledge that there is a current TikTok channel that appeared in the beginning of January, posting all of the catfish voicemails that Meri allegedly made on their phone. And now it's moved to someone from the Brown family spilling the beans. And now they're trying to tie Meri to Samuel Bateman in the FLDS and Robin to the FLDS. And all of it is just so false. Samuel Bateman has no connection to Meri Brown. Meri Brown was never involved with him. He was not a prophet in 2014. He wasn't actively seeking new wives. His scheme didn't even start until years later. The FLDS is not involved with Robin. Her ex-husband is not married, is not related to the Jessups in the FLDS. There are literally only a few names. So the lineage, sure, he might be 18th cousins to some of these people, but at the end of the day, it's two very distinct, separate groups, and they're not related or connected. And Robin was not ever dating someone from the FLDS. So it's really ridiculous the kind of things that people will put out on the internet about the Browns simply because they want to spread a story. It is one thing to talk about what the Browns are putting out there publicly. It's one thing to look at the history of their group, the AUB, and to actually read their book and talk to friends. And it's a whole other to just take a page on TikTok's word as gospel, claiming to be some anonymous source that was probably her catfish. So that being said, Gwendolyn on her Patreon mentioned that this page is fake, and I tend to believe her. So what are your thoughts about Meri's return? Are you surprised or not surprised? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.